Hello, friends and neighbors, and welcome to the Splash Live. I'm your host, Jake Sheff, bringing you all of the latest news and stories from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Over the past weekend, the Keego Harbor community said goodbye to a friend and a true pillar of their community. Dennis Kearns, a longtime member of the Jacket Club of Keego Harbor, passed away this past weekend on Friday after battling a brief illness. Dennis, of course, was beloved throughout the community, devoting his time with the Jacket Club of Keego Harbor, as well as serving as a reserve officer for the Keego Harbor Police Department. And Dennis's impact extends beyond Keego Harbor, as his family has made a big impact on the automotive industry here in Michigan, as his father, Robert Kearns, was the inventor of the modern day windshield wiper system that we see in most automobiles today. The basis of this, the plot of the biographical movie Flash of Genius from 2008, starring Greg Kinnear as Dennis's father, Robert Kearns. Dennis, of course, will be sorely missed throughout the community, as many of those who are closest with him took the time to speak with him about what he brought to the community and the impact he has had on everyone that he met. Sue Williams with the Jacket Club of Keego Harbor spoke with me about his impact on the Jacket Club and what he brought to West Bloomfield.
Well, Dennis was the go-to guy if you needed any information about anyone or how things worked or who could do something for you. Lots of times I'd call him up and ask him who was doing what in the city, and within 5 minutes he would call back and have a name. He just was very interested in people and what they did, and he shared all of that knowledge with other people. He was absolutely wonderful in his fundraising to make sure that the mission of the Jacket Club of Keego Harbor continued. So he loved Keego, and he loved the people that lived in Keego, and we're going to miss him dearly.
It's great to hear of what Dennis meant to this community, and the work Dennis has done over the years has impacted and benefited several different businesses in the Greater West Bloomfield and the Keego Harbor community, one of which was Gino's Pizzeria and Restaurant. Gino Santillo was a close friend to Dennis over the years and spoke with me about his impact on Keego.
Well, not just the community and our place here at Gino's Restaurant, considerably too. He was here quite often. We have an annual car show that we do every year, and Dennis was always quite involved in that. Help furnish the security in the parking lot and the directions for all the cars that come through. And our Keego Harbor Parade, he was an auxiliary volunteer policeman with the city of Keego, and he would don his uniform and stand out there and just wave everybody through, wave at everybody about, and just be very friendly with everybody. He was just a fixture here in our community. Here at the restaurant, he was a fixture too.
What do you think this community is going to miss the most about Dennis Kearns?
Well, he was helpful in many ways. I know the police department will dearly, truly miss his work ethics there. He was a volunteer. He did it for his own benefit, not for his benefit, for the sake of the city, and it didn't cost the city anything, and he did everything that was asked of him.
Dennis did everything for the Keego Harbor community. And as Gino mentioned, Dennis loved to devote his time to the Keego Harbor Police Department to help keep this community safe. Keego Police Chief Robert Barnes was another one of Dennis's close friends, and he spoke to me about their bond and about having Dennis side by side with him on the force.
Dennis is a longtime staple of Keego Harbor in this area. I've known him personally for 30 years, and he's been a reserve officer here since 2015. He has an incredible investigative background as a former PI. So he is, back in my detective days, he was very helpful. An example I can give that I still talk about, I think it's funny, is that I was working a cold case homicide in Keego, and I don't know of anyone else who can find a suspect, a person of interest by the name of John Smith from 1973, but he managed to do it, so he was talented. And he was also a reserve deputy for Macomb County. That's back when I first met him. So he always enjoyed that. And a lot of people do not know this, but Dennis is ordained. And Dennis not only married one of officiated a wedding for one of our officers here, but he also officiated the wedding for my wife and I in 2017. Yes, it was really hard to see him go, but he had an interesting life and made an impact, and there's no one like him ever.
There will never be another Dennis Kearns. Dennis made an impact on so many lives in Gigo Harbor, and his presence will be sorely missed. In the aftermath of the Temple Israel shooting that took place on March 12th, the West Bloomfield Police Department has reinforced the importance of safety procedures and precautions should an event like this occur again. Our own Jonathan Montgomery recently spoke with Chief Dale Young to hear more.
The attack on Temple Israel was just a few weeks ago, and residents of this community are asking what steps are being taken to ensure the safety of the community moving forward. I spoke to Chief Dale Young about what residents should know and how the department is responding.
We continue to be a very safe community. We ingest a lot of intelligence information, and we use that to adapt to our operational plans. But overall safety is very good in the township. We have a great working relationship with our different faith-based communities, and the Jewish community is definitely one that we have a great two-way relationship. And what I would tell you is that we will just continue doing that. We have a variety of ways that we do outreach, and we stay well connected.
Police say while there is no ongoing threat, they are working closely with local organizations to stay proactive. And they encourage residents, if they see something unusual, never be afraid to say something. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jonathan Montgomery.
Great to know that this community is being kept safe every single day. We appreciate Chief Young for taking the time to talk with us here on the Splash Live. The 54th annual Greater West Bloomfield Michigan Week Community Awards Breakfast will be taking place on Thursday, May 7th at 7 a.m. This long-standing tradition celebrates over 5 decades of honoring outstanding community volunteers across Greater West Bloomfield, with this year's theme being United in Service, Together We Shine. The event was previously held at Temple Israel since 2023, but has been relocated following the March 12th tragedy impacting the community. The 2026 event will be hosted at Shenandoah Country Club, marking a temporary but meaningful location change. Here to tell us more about this year's ceremony is the chair of the 54th Michigan Week Awards Breakfast, Dr. Kiana Smith. Kiana, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, and really love talking about this Michigan Week. I mean, we look forward to it every single year. One of the biggest events in Greater West Bloomfield, and you were the chair of this year's celebration. What does it mean to you personally to be a part of the 54th annual Michigan Week celebration?
Yes. Well, being a part of the 54th annual Michigan Week celebration, it's very personal. It's very deeply personal for me. I lived in the West Bloomfield community for over 17 years. And all 5 of my children, we attended West Bloomfield School District. And I've had the privilege of working within the district. But what makes this moment especially meaningful is just being surrounded and being supported by individuals who are true pioneers in this community. These are people who have laid the foundation for so much of what makes West Bloomfield thrive. So now stand alongside them and in many ways just feel entrusted to carry that work forward is truly humbling. So it feels great.
I'd imagine so, and there's so much great work that's been done in Greater West Bloomfield, especially within the last several months. What makes this year's theme, United in Service, Together We Shine, especially meaningful right now?
Yes. Well, actually, when we first came up with the theme as a community, we discussed the celebration of the 250th birthday of our country. So it gave us that opportunity to kind of work together as a community to reflect on who we are. But as of late, in light of the tragedy of Temple Israel, it just took a whole deeper meaning. It has truly found its place in that moment. United in service, together we shine. We are seeing West Bloomfield and all of Oakland County just come together in such a unified and compassionate way. So for me, our theme is not just a theme. It's it's what we are actively living out. Like we're living it out this day. It's how we are showing up for one another, how we continue to move forward together, and we share one community and one mission. So it means it's highly meaningful.
That's right. And this message honors so many people, everyone who's done such great work in Greater West Bloomfield all throughout the year. And like I said, especially within the last several weeks. And
Yes.
like I mentioned, this event typically takes place at Temple Israel. But of course, with the recent tragedy, it has been moved over to Shenandoah Country Club. Can you walk us through the decision to move the event over to Shenandoah?
Oh, sure. Well, the decision to move, it was very thoughtful, very carried out with the community. Originally, as you share, we were hosting the event at Temple Israel. And I really want to take this opportunity to first just acknowledge how incredibly supportive Temple Israel have been throughout this entire process. In light of the tragic events, Temple Israel reached out to us and directly and was very transparent and shared that, we would no longer be able to have the event, to take place at this particular location. So at the same time, they illustrated a very strong commitment to supporting and under the unforeseen circumstances, like just helping us. And that level of partnership and care, it means a great deal to us. We are forever grateful. But from there, Shenandoah Country Club stepped in. They stepped in right away. And with that same spirit of support, just allowing us to transition the event and still honor the purpose and the integrity of Michigan Week.
That's right. Even when something like this happens in West Bloomfield, the show must go on, and it's very important that this event takes place this year and every year. How important
Yes.
was it to continue the event despite the challenges surrounding the recent tragedy?
Well, we are mindful and we're respectful of what our community has experienced. Coming together in this way allows us to support one another, reflect, reinforce the strength as a community. This event is not just about celebration, it's about connection, it's about resilience. And moving forward, it sends a message that we stand together. Even in difficult times, we will stand together.
For those just joining us on the Splash Live right now, I'm talking with Dr. Kiana Smith, who's going to be the chair of the 54th Annual Michigan Week Awards Breakfast taking place on Thursday, May 7th at the Shenandoah Country Club, a new location from Temple Israel where it's taken place the last several years. And like you said, we are honoring our heroes. We are honoring everybody at this year's event. Why was it important to acknowledge and recognize the local heroes who responded during that incident at Temple Israel?
Well, our local heroes, they step forward with professionalism, compassion, courageous, and recognizing them is about more than just appreciation. It's about ensuring that their actions are seen, valued, we remember, and they represent the very best of our community. And it's important that we honor that.
That's right. And and with this event, I'd imagine that there's so many honorees and nominees that are going to be honored with the Michigan Week Awards Breakfast. What stands out to you about this year's group of people being honored?
Well, this group of honorees are individuals from all different parts of the community. And what stands out most about them is their commitment to service. We all saw firsthand what it looks like when the community comes together, and these honorees reflect that spirit. They truly reflect that, and they embody what it means to be united in service.
That's absolutely right. And that includes so many different people, those who are out on the front lines and even those who kind of stay back and do a lot of the work that maybe doesn't always get recognized throughout the community. So Kiana, why is it so important to spotlight individuals who often serve behind the scenes?
When I think of those that serve behind the scenes, I'm reminded of in the book of Colossians, how it talks about whatever you do, work in it with all your heart. And that scripture speaks volumes to protect with excellence, even when no one is watching. And that's what so many of our honorees represent. So taking the time to recognize them, it truly matters. It affirms that their work is seen and that leadership is not always about being in the spotlight. It's about the impact, and it's not really just about being in the spotlight.
I love that. It's about the impact and what that truly resonates throughout the community. I got a few more questions before we wrap things up, Kiana. When this event is all said and done, when everyone attends the Michigan Week Breakfast, what message do you hope attendees take away about community service and civic engagement after this event.
Yes. I think my true hope is that people leave feeling inspired. Just being reminded that we all have a role to play in strengthening our community. Service doesn't have to be big. It just has to be intentional. If each of us, commit to showing up, supporting one another, staying engaged, like the theme says, we will truly shine.
There it is. That's all that we're looking for. We're just looking for people to arrive and to be inspired by what they see at this event. Last question,
Yeah.
Kiana, where can people go to maybe try and get involved with helping out for Michigan Week and to gain a little bit more information about what to expect?
Yes. MichiganWeek.org. You can go to the website. The website has been updated with our new location. You can register. You can volunteer. So yes, please visit MichiganWeek.org.
All right, that's the place to go, and so much to look forward to with the Michigan Week Awards Breakfast coming up very, very soon. Kiana, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thank you.
Once again, Michigan Week Awards Breakfast. That's going to be taking place on March 7th, Thursday, March 7th at 7 a.m. Mark your calendars. It's going to be a wonderful event to honor everyone in our community, especially those who have stepped forward given the recent tragedy in Temple, Israel. It's sure to be a very moving event. Sunny Speech is a pediatric speech and language therapy clinic dedicated to helping children build confidence in how they communicate. Sunny Speech is celebrating the launch of its West Bloomfield location with a grand opening event on April 16th, designed to connect with local families and the community. Brooke Zagarian, the owner of Sunny Speech, recently joined us on the Splash Live to tell us more. Brooke, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Of course, really love having you on. Always love hearing about these brand new businesses and these brand new opportunities all throughout Greater West Bloomfield. I'm going to start from the beginning. What inspired you to start Sunny Speech, and what gap did you see in existing therapy services?
So I started Sunny Speech because I wanted to be able to provide services the way that I truly believed in it. I didn't want it to be run by any red tape that another person was going to put on top of it, or insurance companies kind of dictating what I'm able to do. I wanted to be able to provide the services for the families in the way that they needed it. So we're a small company, and that kind of gives us that opportunity to be able to service families in the way that they need to be serviced. I've worked in so many different other pediatric areas, and I just felt like I really wanted to make this connection with the families, provide them with this community-based platform that all of them can come together. We can talk about what is happening with their child. We can work together as a team in order to be able to help that child move forward, and then we can start to do more group opportunities, so then that way everyone can kind of be a part of this bigger program.
Putting the child first and focusing on what they need already sounds great. And Brooke, you just mentioned that you've had a lot of experience in different clinical settings. How has that shaped your approach to this kind of care?
So I think I've kind of taken something from every little place that I've worked at. So I've worked in hospitals, I've worked in schools, I've worked in early on, I've worked in other outpatient clinics, and I've seen the things that have happened in all those places, and I've decided that, okay, this is something that I like from here, and this is something that I like from here, and this is kind of what I want to put into this practice. So we offer home visits as well, which is really great and really helpful for the families. We try to make it as collaborative as possible, trying to work with the other team members that the family might have. So we just try to make sure that everyone is kind of working together and making sure that it's as collaborative as possible.
That's wonderful. And from what I understand, one of the things you specialize in with Sunny Speech is neurodiversity affirming therapy. What does that mean to you in practice?
So neurodiversity affirming therapy means that you are allowing the child to be who they are and who they're meant to be, and you're providing that support. You are not trying to force them into any type of situation or anything that we're trying to make them out to be. We're honoring their needs first, and then we're giving them that ability to express what their needs are. So all of my sessions are child-led. They're all play-based. I'm following what they want to do and then providing the supports where I feel like it's needed. So if that means that we're using a device in order to communicate, I will program that device to be as individualized as possible, making sure that the child's needs come first. And we're also focusing on their strengths. So all my reports have what the child can do, not what they can't do. We like to focus on exactly what the needs of the child are.
It really sounds like you're really cultivating a safe environment for these kids to be themselves and to really open up and to be ready for whatever you have to offer. And I love to hear about that, Brooke. And I'm curious, how do you ensure each child's therapy plan is truly individualized?
I really approach the families and try to get to understand them better. I encourage them to send me videos of what their child is doing at home, because then I can see it in a home context. And then I just spend a lot of my time with the child and trying to get to know that child. And first and foremost, I want them to feel safe. I don't have a small little clinic space that most speech language pathologists are used to working in. I purposefully chose this location because it has bigger clinic spaces that we can start adding in sensory supports for the child. So then that way they can feel like their needs are met and they can feel safe and regulated. And I can start to understand exactly what their needs are.
That's wonderful to hear. For those just joining us right now in the Splash Live, I'm talking with the owner of Sunny Speech, Brooke Sagarian, who is the owner of Sunny Speech. Will be having their grand opening celebration on Thursday, April 16th in West Bloomfield. Now, Brooke, I mean, you just touched on it a little bit ago, but why did you choose West Bloomfield as the location for your brand new space?
I love West Bloomfield. It's my family grew up around here. My husband's family's here. My family's here now. It's just such a great community. I love all the families that I get to meet. And, you know, I'm part of the Chaldean community as well. And a lot of us are in West Bloomfield. And so I just feel like I'm at home with the families that I have, and just having my family close by. It's really helpful since I have a little one at home as well.
Well, we picked a place with a lot of great connections, Brooke. That's definitely going to go a long way. And with your plans for Sunny Speech, how do you hope it will make a difference for local families here in Greater West Bloomfield?
I'm just hoping that families can come to a place where they feel like they are truly being understood, and that the service of care that they're getting is at the highest level. I tell my families all the time that I will never take on a client that I don't feel 1000% comfortable taking on, and that we have expertise in. And I also tell my families that any child that walks through my door is now a part of me and a part of Sunny Speech. And so I'm constantly thinking about them, constantly trying to make sure that the families feel supported and that I'm giving them as much support and as much love and care as possible.
And that's what every family wants to hear when they find resources like this available in their community. Now, Brooke, as I said, your grand opening is scheduled for April 16th. What can attendees expect from that celebration?
We're just hoping that everyone can kind of join together, see the new space. We have a lot of different kinds of, sensory supports there, different kinds of activities for kids. We're going to have food and refreshments, and just come and enjoy, get to meet us, get to meet the space.
Well, I'm sure everyone in the community is looking forward to it and looking forward to welcoming you to become a part of the West Bloomfield family, Brooke. Last question before we let you go. I'm sure you have a lot of goals for Sunny Speech for the future. What are your goals for this first year in this brand new space?
I really want to start doing more community-based sessions, more groups. So one of my biggest focuses is starting to do more educational opportunities for families. So bringing in experts that can talk about the IEP process, that can talk about feeding, that can talk about, different aspects of speech or occupational therapy, And then also being able to provide group sessions for kids. So then that way the kids can start to meet with each other, start to work on those social skills, and we can just have more community-based events.
That's wonderful, Brooke. Can't wait to see what's to come with your business in the many months to come. Thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's great to have these resources available within Greater West Bloomfield. Once again, the launch of Sunny Speech's West Bloomfield location and their grand opening event will be taking place on April 16th. We got plenty more stories and plenty more topics to get into right here on the Splash Live. We'll be right back after a quick word from a few sponsors. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV.
A breath of fresh air will do you a world of good. Breathe in deep and let fresh renew your spirit in pure Michigan.
Why vaccinate? Because this little girl has the measles. Not in 1950, in 2026. Diseases like measles and whooping cough are back, and cases are rising because some families are missing vaccinations. Vaccines are safe, and they protect your child and others from 18 preventable diseases. So vaccinate, because when it comes to diseases like measles and polio, no one wants to go back in time.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Jake Schaff. Everyone is making the transition outside to enjoy their favorite spring and summertime pastimes, but that also doesn't mean you can't bring the fun indoors if you want to. And right here in West Bloomfield, there is a fantastic indoor golf facility just for you to try out. The Back Nine in West Bloomfield recently opened their doors on February 28th, expanding access to year-round golf right here within Oakland County, with several different resources available for all of the residents to stop by and try out. And we recently had the owner of the Back Nine, Leonard Fox, on our program to tell us more about his business and what the Greater West Bloomfield can expect.
Leonard, thanks for coming on the show today.
Oh, you're welcome. It's an honor.
Yeah, glad to have you on. As you opened the Back Nine, you got locations here in West Bloomfield as well as in Clarkston. What was the inspiration behind this concept?
Well, the inspiration behind it was I really wasn't an avid golfer. I just started playing 2 years ago. But once I started playing, I understood that it's not only a sport, but it's also a community. It's a lifestyle. So it gives golf accessible to all walks of life, all income levels. So it's actually enlightening and very inspiring for me to start an indoor golf facility.
And these golf simulators, they're not a new concept. We've seen them pop up all throughout the country, all throughout the world. They've become massively popular in just a short period of time. What sets this West Bloomfield location apart from other competitors in the nearby area or even other locations of the Back Nine? What makes ours special?
Ours is special because we put it together, understanding what the community likes. It's a public place, but it has a private vibe. So we're membership based, but we also have public tee times. We curated the facility to have the type of style that's welcoming to the community of West Bloomfield. So when you come in, it feels like you're at home, but it also feels like you're at a private golf club.
And creating that environment where you do sort of have that private golf club field, how does that add to the customer experience, especially for those that come back to the Back Nine after their first trip?
Our technology is absolutely outstanding. It's backed by Tiger Woods, John Rahm, and some other professionals, along with Josh Allen. So great avid golfers are behind the technology, and it improves every day. So you have that, and also we have the Vive where you can play music, you can stream sports. It's just like playing in your basement, but with the elegant touch.
And this has only been open for a few weeks at the time that we're speaking now in late March. It opened in late February. What's the response been from the West Bloomfield community and surrounding areas in that first month or so since your business opened here?
It's been tremendous. I'm so excited to be a part of the community. I didn't buy a business. I bought in to be a part of the West Bloomfield community. A matter of fact, we are hosting a fundraiser for the West Bloomfield High School golf team. We're going to, on April 14th, we're having a 9-man scramble. All those proceeds to go back to the community, to the high school, to assist the players this up and coming season, which has already begun. So I'm so excited about the activity that we're getting. It's a cool place for people to come hang out, and we're starting to see a lot of activity.
Leonard Fox joins us on the Splash Live today from the Back Nine, which is an indoor golf simulator facility now in West Bloomfield, also with a location in Clarkston. He joins us on the Splash today. More information can be found on theback9golf.com or follow them on Instagram at B9Golf West Bloomfield. That's B9Golf West Bloomfield for more information. Leonard, you mentioned yourself earlier on. You've only really been a golfer for a couple of years. I'm not a golfer. I'm a former caddy. Obviously, that didn't work out, so I went into television. For those that maybe aren't golf enthusiasts, maybe have never picked up a club before, but they want to get into golf, how does something like this help them immerse themselves in that experience, dip their toe into the water, so to speak?
Well, you really get to come in and you get to play and don't have to drive all over the place, wonder about losing the ball. Once you start to play, you understand the data, and what the data is telling you exactly what the club is doing. It's actually a comfortable environment where you really don't have to worry about embarrassing yourself or losing a golf ball.
How have you found that this experience does help people then translate that interest in maybe diving into the world of golf to then becoming golf enthusiasts like yourself?
Could you please repeat that? I missed the first portion.
How have you seen this experience that people get at a place like the Back Nine turn them from someone interested in golf into someone that does become an avid golfer?
So once they come in and have a good time, and then eventually they become members. And then once they become members, they may take some lessons. And then once they dive into understanding what the data is telling them, you get hooked. I'm a product of that.
Leonard Fox is with us from the Back Nine, now with a location in West Bloomfield. You want to see more of what they got going on over there, follow them on Instagram at B9Golf West Bloomfield. Leonard, we're up against it. We've got to move on here in just a couple of minutes. But before we go, what is your hope for people to come out to the Back Nine? What do you hope their experience is when they come in? And what do you believe they may be surprised with their experience after they leave your location?
I hope they come in and experience a welcoming environment and have the ultimate experience from a golf standpoint. We pride ourselves in great customer service. We are a part of the community, so that's not my business, it's the community's business. And when they leave, they'll be blown away by the decor and by the way the technology actually responds.
It's going to be a great experience for people in our community. So many others that have brought golf simulators into their community have seen a massive response and great popularity. So definitely going to be a big boom for our local business community and get some people out to West Bloomfield for some golf, indoors, outdoors, and all beyond. It all gets inspired in one place, the Back Nine in West Bloomfield. Before we let you go, Leonard, anything else that you would like people to know at this time about the Back Nine's new West Bloomfield location?
Yes, I like to give the address. It's 4301 Orchard Lake Road, Suite 145. We're located in the Crosswinds Plaza, a few doors down from Kroger's.
Yeah, it's right on Orchard Lake Road in the heart of West Bloomfield, near Kroger, right next door, looks like, to Uptown Parthenon, which is another location so many people go to. Right in the heart of West Bloomfield, a place where people can go. Rain or shine, your golf experience is never over here in West Bloomfield Township. Leonard, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
I mean, Tyler's not the only one who's going to have to improve his golf swing game, because I'm looking to try out the back nine myself, get a bit of a feel for indoor golf and the many services that the back nine is providing. So we appreciate Leonard Fox for taking the time to talk with us here on the Splash Live. Plenty more stories and plenty more topics to get into right here on the program right after this. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV.
Can't be late to your own party. Hurry up! Hurry up! Ah! Do not cut me off. It's her fault? Her fault? Ah! You kidding me? Honk, honk, honk! Honk, honk, honk! Honk, honk! Late! Out of my way! Honk! I hate construction!
You should have slowed down.
My party.
You wouldn't act this way in a store, so don't act this way on the road. Driving slower saves lives.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know. Carefully managed and sustainable forests are essential to Michigan. Not only are they beautiful, they're a renewable resource for the products you use every day, and they create vital jobs in our communities. So we take care to balance the needs of the forest with the needs of all that depend on it. In fact, every branch of forestry ensures that future generations will always have a tree for life and forests for a lifetime. To learn how sustainable forestry benefits your life, visit michigan.gov/forests for a lifetime.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy, and if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
When you have a gambling problem, you have a money problem. Don't let your gambling cause you financial hardship. If you or someone you love is struggling with gambling, we can help. Get free confidential counseling and win your life back. Learn more at michigan.gov/problemgambling.
Floodwaters can rise fast. Take precautions to stay safe. Follow the instructions of local officials and all emergency notifications. If authorities say evacuate, don't wait. Do not walk, swim, or drive through floodwaters. Just 1 foot of water can sweep away a vehicle. Never drive around barricades. You don't know what danger may be on the other side. For more tips on how to protect your family, visit ready.gov/floods.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Jake Sheff, bringing you all of the latest stories and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. With the snow finally gone and springtime underway, everyone's looking to make their way outside again. But the seasonal change can be a bit of a challenge to navigate for pet owners. Readjusting to the outdoors and prepping for the spring and summer season means planning for everything. Here to tell us more about what pet owners can prepare for is the owner of Good Choices Dog Training and Services, Elaine Chan Whitlow. Elaine, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Glad to have you on, and like I said, love talking about topics like this because it means that spring is here, it means the warmer weather's here, and we're getting everybody outside again. So how should pets and pet owners properly prepare for the changing season, especially having just gone through winter?
Well, first of all, the change of temperature, the dog can definitely sense a change of season. So a lot of dogs are going to become more active, number one. So they will be craving more walks, getting outside more, and more activity. And number one thing is that make sure that you watch for their hydration. Start them on parasite control, things like that. And one of the things is that because they want to go outside more, if you have a dog outside, make sure that they're not trying to escape their house, trying to run away. If you have an intact dog, make sure you safely secure them, because I know a lot of times spring also means a lot of dog wants to run away from the property, trying to, go mating, things like that. So make sure that you either have them, spay or neuter, or make sure that you safely secure them. And then for grooming, that's also really important because a lot of dogs are going to be shedding their winter coat because now the spring season is coming. So make sure you work with a professional groomer. If not, make sure that you're regularly brushing them, bathing them, and monitor any signs of allergies on their skin and things like that. And when the weather is rainy or muddy, try to think about engaging your dog in indoor activities because they will need a lot of engagement to do. So even if it's rainy, don't be discouraged about giving them activity to do because they will need them for to be to stay active.
All very important information for people to remember throughout this spring season. And you were talking about the skin and maybe the moisture impact that pets' paws can have, especially with the melting snow. How does melting snow and increased moisture impact pets' paws and skin, and what precautions should owners take regarding things like that?
Well, the paws are a big part of their, of the dog's body, and with the snow and mud being melting, the main thing is the paws are going to be dirty. So you want to make sure that when they come back from outside, give them a really good wipe down, making sure you wipe their paws down. One of the favorite things that I want to do is actually soak their paws to clean up all the snow and mud and things like that. So one of the easy things you can do is dilute iodine solution, green tea, apple cider vinegar, Epsom salt. Those are the four really easy to find, inexpensive ingredient that you can look up the dilution ratio and then make sure that you give them a good soaking. The other thing you can also do is to have like chlorhexidine wipes on hand because that can also prevent any kind of skin allergies and things like that. And make sure that the paw pads are shaved. Make sure the nails are always trimmed properly. Those are also important things. And for the skin, with the pollens and all the irritant that spring and summer can bring to us, sometimes a simple wipe down with a wet towel after they come back from the outside is going to help them, not have the irritant stay on the top of the skin, and it can help prevent some of these allergies, reactions, and things like that.
Wow, a lot of precautions for these pets, but really, really great information for a lot of owners to be made aware of. Now, especially having just finished up the winter season, a lot of people were inside, staying warm, maybe not going outside and exercising as much as they maybe should, maybe being a little lethargic around the house. How can pet owners safely reintroduce outdoor exercise after a more sedentary winter season?
Well, the number one thing that I would say, start out slow. And you really need to know your own dog's their own physical condition. And if there's any health problems or potentially concerned, because I would assume, the dog owner would know best of their own dog's, physical condition. So one thing you can try is doing some easy warm-up exercises such as stretching, and warm-up exercises could be just simply things like laying down, back to a sit, having them reach their paw, that can help stretch the upper body. Do some of those things before you go for a very long walk. And for starting out slow, just go outside, find a grass pet area and then do like 15-20 minutes to start out and slowly build their stamina up. So the first thing would not be like, oh, the first warm day, go for like an hour high, doing inclines and all that. No, don't do all that stuff at first. Start really, really slow and then slowly build it up. And trying to avoid not doing too much exercise for young puppies and senior dog. For young puppies, their paw pads are really sensitive, so that the cements are kind of getting warmer because of the sun. Just watch out for, they can't do too much activities. Find something that is shaded, and don't drag them on the leash and, make them run for, too much of a time, because that can also strain their health as well.
I like that. Start off nice and slow, ease the pets back into this routine, and it helps that there's so many great resources all throughout Greater West Bloomfield for these pets to walk along. We got trails, we got parks, we got everything. And as more people are heading outdoors with their pets, Elaine, what safety tips should they keep in mind, especially for public spaces like parks and trails?
I always advocate people to be mindful, always be respectful, and always stay alert. Staying alert would be sometimes just get in the environment. Like if you go on a trail, there might be wildlife. Don't be occupied on your cell phone or have your headphones on. Really stay alert, watching for your dog as well as watching for other people's and what is in the environment. Have social etiquette. So like if you see other dog on the trail, try not to walk up to someone without asking or acknowledging. Staying away from other people's spaces. And be respectful to, like, if the other activities go on in the park or trail, don't walk your dog right up into someone else's space and things like that. Always obey and respect your leash law and your leash coordinate in the area. Have your dog properly leashed. If you do want to give your dog a little bit more freedom, let's say you do want them to roam a little bit, still have them on the long line. Please do not chance letting any dog off the leash in area that is not designed for that. If you wish to have a dog off leash, have running and whatnot, only select proper designated area that is allowed to do those things. And I always advocate have your dogs trained, properly trained so that they can enjoy outdoor more. Some dogs may have issue with socialization or reactivity, whatever. But there are a lot of professionals out there that can help you with these things. Just be really mindful and if a dog is not trained on proper command, they're not allowed to, listen to you outside. They're not going to be able to enjoy, outdoor or go on walks and trails as much. So consult a professional and get the dogs trained so they can enjoy the outdoor more.
I love that. Pay attention to your surroundings. Make sure that your pets are ready for this kind of activity and make sure that they're ready for everything to come with the spring and summer season. Elaine Chan Whitlow is joining us on the Splash Live right now, the owner of Good Choices Dog Training and Services, giving us some tips and some insights as pets and their owners make their way outside again for a beautiful spring and summer season. Now, Elaine, I do have to ask, are there any upcoming pet-related events or community programs local residents should know about, maybe to help get their pets a little bit of exercise?
I will be starting my adventure group classes in April and May, and we already have 4 different sessions planned in the West Bloomfield area. So starting on April 11, we have a free walk at the West Bloomfield Wood Nature Preserve Trail, so people can join, and then we can have Q&A during the walks and things like that. As far as other activity, I will have fitness and social hour classes in a couple new businesses opening up in Wixom. There's an indoor dog park there that we can, actually conduct classes in a safe and air-controlled environment, things like that. For shows and things like that, in May, we have a Much in Motion show that is going to be happening in Milford. A little bit far from, West Bloomfield, but it's going to be benefiting a rescue group, so that will be nice for people to come out May 9, which is the Mother's Day weekend. And I will have dog painting party in the area in Livonia. I got Easter photo coming this weekend. So there's lots of great stuff coming up. And besides myself, there's lots of local professionals that are doing lots of activities, dropping classes, things like that. So people can just check on social media or be, looking out for like supporting a local rescue. If there's any events and things like that.
Perfect. So many resources available for these pets and their owners. They're going to have a lot of fun throughout the spring and summer season. Elaine, last question before we wrap things up. What makes the Greater West Bloomfield area a fantastic place for pet owners compared to other communities?
I think one thing I really do love is that I really love all the West Bloomfield parks. They're beautiful. They're always really well maintained. There's always proper map showing the trails, where to go. There are other places that I've gone to that I lead my walk, so to speak, and I get lost when I get into the park because I have no way to find my way out because there was no map. And I really love how beautiful all the West Bloomfield parks are and how friendly the neighborhood is. And I also really enjoy working with some of the West Bloomfield local businesses, such as Premier Pet Supply Store and things like that nature. They're always really supportive of my events, sponsoring and helping out and things like that. So I really do enjoy working with the West Bloomfield community.
That's great. And we enjoy having you bring your pets and bring your events for everyone in the community to West Bloomfield every single year. I'm sure the residents are going to have a blast. Elaine, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Yep. Thank you for having me again. Absolutely.
Of course, great information and great resources available for pets and their owners to help reacquaint themselves with the outdoors as winter finally goes away and we welcome spring and summer for the foreseeable next few months. So lots of great stuff coming up all throughout Greater West Bloomfield. In just a couple short days, the Detroit Tigers will be having their home season opener right at Comerica Park in Detroit on April 3rd. And everyone in Greater West Bloomfield is getting ready. They've got baseball fever, and that is extended all the way to all seasons in West Bloomfield, where they're going to be having a wonderful home opener celebration for the residents at All Seasons to celebrate baseball and to share great stories of times in the past of going to games and celebrating with their love of the Detroit Tigers. Molly Ellenberger with the All Seasons at West Bloomfield joined us on the Splash Live recently to tell us what this event will entail. Molly, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, love talking about stuff like this, especially as more and more great pastimes return for spring and summer. What inspired All Seasons to host a Detroit Tigers home opener celebration for their residents?
So we do this every year. It's kind of a celebration that baseball season has started, which is a sport favorite here, and for spring.
Love it. And baseball, of course, I mean, it means so much to a lot of different people. Why is baseball such a meaningful sport, especially for the many seniors in this community?
I think because they have lived through a lot of baseball through the years. A lot of our residents actually witnessed the Detroit Tigers winning the 4 World Series that they have won. So it just brings a huge celebration to our community that, they get to watch baseball. It's back, and something that they have past memories of going to the games with their families and hosting baseball watch parties. And so it just brings a lot of different emotion and excitement back into the community.
I'd imagine so, especially with a team that they've watched for many, many years. I mean, I believe the last time the Tigers won the World Series, if I'm not mistaken, was 1984. So it's been a minute since we've gotten that trophy once again. But what makes recreating the ballpark experience important for residents who may not be able to attend the games in person?
I think it's giving them that experience that they've had and reliving those fun memories. It's decorating like the stadium. It's bringing the food that they enjoyed at the stadium. And it's also about just celebrating something that's happy and positive and enjoying that with the new relationships that they have built here at the community and talking about all the memories that they've had over baseball throughout their years.
It's great. It's sharing in this common interest that everybody can enjoy, especially with watching the game firsthand and seeing all the action with the Detroit Tigers. Now, Molly, how do events like this support the overall well-being and happiness of your residents?
I think it's mood boosting. It's giving them life and getting to experience and create memories with where they're at now in life. And it just brings out a good morality to their well-being.
I'd imagine so. And I mean, there's so much that everybody can enjoy, so much that the residents can enjoy with this wonderful event. I mean, especially it gives them something to look forward to with their time at All Seasons. For those just joining us on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Molly Ellenberger, the Life Enrichment Director with All Seasons West Bloomfield, about the Detroit Tigers season opener that they're going to be having on April 3rd for the residents of their community. Now, a baseball celebration, watching a fun game like this, that's always a great time, but having it being opening day, how does opening day in Detroit add a special layer of excitement to this celebration?
I think because it's at home, it's the home stadium of our favorite team, and everyone usually is available on this day because a lot of Detroiters do celebrate this, and it just brings back more memories of being excited for Detroit opening day and all the memories that they've lived prior to. And I think it just adds that extra element of excitement and knowing that it's right downtown happening right now. And we're also celebrating here in West Bloomfield. So it adds to the extra excitement.
That's right. All of this excitement happening not too far away from right here in West Bloomfield. And there's so much for the residents to take in. Now, Molly, how does All Seasons continue to find creative ways to bring joy and engagement into daily life for these residents?
I think the most important thing that we do at All Seasons is getting to know the residents and finding what their hobbies are, what they like doing, and then building on that. And some things for me is you have to adapt and try new things, and working with the community, working as a team and with residents to create new experiences along with the normal activities to have, because you have to keep that perfect balance of trying new things, but also keeping the comfort of they know what these activities are. So working as a team and just getting the feedback of what they want to see. For example, we've had residents who heard about a restaurant on the radio and they said they'd never experienced this restaurant and they really wanted to try it. So we made it happen. And doing those types of things and really listening to what they want is how we keep creating new social experiences.
I love that. Listening to the residents, hearing what they want to see happen at All Seasons. I mean, it's that communication that really goes a long way. And I would imagine, especially with events like this, nostalgia probably plays another big role in prepping things and setting the stage for things at All Seasons. What role does nostalgia play in planning events like this, would you say?
It plays a really big meaning for that. It's creating that environment. So we have the decor of the Detroit Tigers. It's bringing in the foods that from the ballpark that they remember having, and the music from their era. It just builds on this big event to create the memories that we want to create and remember.
Really setting the stage for these seniors. I mean, they're going to have an amazing time watching this game. Molly, I got one more question before we wrap things up. And this is a bit of a broader question, but for families considering senior living options for someone in their family, how do events like this showcase what makes All Seasons unique?
I think showcasing events like this shows families that we don't just plan the basics, and we really create an environment where residents can thrive and are cared for, and that's the number one thing when someone is looking into senior living for a family member. They want them to thrive. They want someone that they feel they can trust with their loved one. And I think that we as a company and a community, we really build on, this is not just a job. We work in their home. We are creating friendship and we are creating love and safety, and we're here to enrich their life. And I think that builds in what we do, and families see that we don't just do the basics. We go out of our way to create more experiences and to let them thrive.
I love that, really making all of these seniors feel welcome with all seasons. And they're going to have an amazing time at this baseball celebration on April 3rd. Molly, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thank you for having us.
And that's going to do it for us today here on the Splash Live. Big thank you to all of our guests and for everybody on the Splash Live team for helping to make this show possible every single day. I've been your host, Jake Schaff. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center